everyone, my name is Mama Prosper Irene and I am here with another book summary. Today's book is titled Everywhere Present Christianity in a One-Story Universe by Stephen Freeman. If you're new here, welcome to Christian Book Summaries, where we explore the deep and sometimes challenging aspects of faith and spirituality. I am your host, Mama Prosper Irene, and today's episode is going to be titled The Shape of the Universe. Now, this is the first of several episodes to come as we will be exploring several chapters in the book Everywhere Present. The title of the first chapter is The Shape of the Universe, and that is what we are going to be exploring today. Before we go into the book, let's know a little about the author. Stephen Freeman is a theologian and a priest in the Orthodox Church, known for his work on Orthodox spirituality and theology. He is a writer and speaker who explores various aspects of faith, including the impact of secularism on religious belief and practice. Freeman often discusses topics such as the two-story universe concept, which distinguishes between secular and sacred realms and how this division affects our understanding of God and the world. His writing aims to bridge the gap between the contemporary challenges and traditional Christian teachings, seeking to provide deeper insight into the nature of faith and its practice in modern life. Today, we're diving into an intriguing concept, the concept about the two-story universe and how it shapes our understanding of God, daily life, and the world around us. We'll explore how this concept impacts our faith and daily experiences and what it means for the future of religious belief in a secular age. To start, let's take a trip back to the 1950s and 60s in the semi-rural South. Picture a world defined by its homogeneous culture, marked by a complex blend of a dark past and optimistic hope for a prosperous new South. In this world, religion, almost exclusively Protestant and predominantly Baptist, played a central role. Yet, despite the prevalent belief in God, there was often a noticeable disconnect between this belief and the lived experience of everyday life. Many of us grew up with religious practices deeply embedded into our routines. Church services, Sunday school, and prayer before meals were part of our lives. But despite these practices, there was always a prevailing sense that God was distant. This sense of distance became particularly evident in our approach to death and funerals. Funerals were a significant part of life in this culture. They focused on the living with minimal discussion about the afterlife. The dead were respectfully laid to rest, but there was little conversation about their eternal state. This created an unspoken distance between the living and the divine, highlighting a broader separation between daily life and God. This sense of a divided universe where daily life happens on the first floor and God resides on the second floor is what we are calling the two-story universe. This concept was highlighted during the author's time as a hospice chaplain, where he observed how this perceived distance complicated grief and created uncertainty about the afterlife. This two-story universe is more than just a personal experience. It's a reflection of a larger cultural shift, originating from historical efforts to separate religious and secular spheres. This concept has led to a secular worldview where God and religious expressions are increasingly marginalized. The secular world, which emerged from political and religious conflicts in the 16th and 17th century, has pushed religious belief to the background. In this environment, the idea of God intervening in our natural world becomes problematic. Prayer, for example, often seems like asking God to override the natural laws, which can feel increasingly foreign in a secular concept. But the implication of the two-story universe extends beyond personal beliefs. It also affects how we relate to the world around us. When the earth is seen as a neutral zone, it loses its sacredness. This perception has led some to blame Christianity for environmental issues, although the reality is a much complex thing. A world where God is absent from daily life can result in a loss of intrinsic value, with raw power or wealth becoming the primary arbitraries of worth. This separation leads to a reduction of our relationship with God to a mere moral or forensic term. Morality becomes politicized and the sense of divine presence diminishes. This results in a world where beauty, meaning, and value become strained, and God's presence is increasingly seen as irrelevant. Despite this, there is hope. The divided universe is not the ultimate legacy of Christianity, but rather a deviation from its true sense. The Christian tradition has always held that God is everywhere present and filling all things. This sacramental view of life sees God as intimately involved in the world, transforming ordinary elements into instruments of His presence. As we conclude today's episode, let us reflect on the possibilities of bridging the gap between our daily lives and our spiritual beliefs. The two-story universe offers a valuable framework to understanding the challenges we face, but it also reminds us of the richness and the depth of our Christian inheritance. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this book summary. For questions, suggestions, or the written form of the summary, reach us at christianbooksummaries1@gmail.com. God bless you and see you in the next episodes.